Hey. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Welcome to Chatbout Toronto. And I am your girl, Mel Black Rose, aka Malizia, aka Mel, whatever you feel is right.
And I am your girl, Miss T.
Mm-hmm.
And today, we are talking about. We always have some real interesting topics, honestly.
And honestly, men, please, today, this topic, just listen. Don't come for us. We're not trying to come for you.
It's just a conversation. We're just talking.
We're just talking. We are just talking. So pretty much we are going to be talking about when you're in a relationship or when you're dating, who pays what or who has to spend more, etc. And what I mean who and who, like man and woman, or whoever your partner is that you choose to choose.
Yeah. So who's paying?
So in general, can we both say that we know that men pay more when they're in a relationship with a woman? In general, not all, but majority of men.
In general, I can say yes.
Yes. Okay.
In general, men are expected to pay for the dates, pay for, the trips, pay for the bills, pay for. I think that's the expectation. And I think it is history, right? That's the way we were raised initially. Mm-hmm. We were kind of like, that was what happened before when women didn't work. Mm-hmm. Men paid for things. And the way when a man was courting you.
Yes.
A man would pay for things like your dates and stuff like that because that was his way of letting you know how he would treat you and that he was able to financially take care of you.
Right.
This is when people dated for the purpose of marriage. Right? Now we date for all different reasons. So it's not the same thing. And that's one of the things I think is key in determining who should pay and when.
Explain. What do you mean exactly?
So if you are a person if you're looking for, if you're a suitor, you're looking for someone who is going to be your partner long term.
Right.
I think that as a man, I think that you should look at spending some money on that person that you feel is worthy of you. Like you're spending your time and you're building with her and you're giving her the treatment so that she.
Okay. So when you're courting someone, if you're interested in that person for marriage,
or even for long term, right? Like marriage is extreme, but
the man is expected to pay for more or everything.
I think as a man, if you're dating someone with the intention of making them your woman,
right?
I think that yes, you should spend money, on the dates, especially the first few. If you are just meeting up with someone so that you guys can go fuck, I mean,
there's no,
you don't have to spend no big set of money. I mean, like that's the difference. Like I think if you're honest about that too, that's the other part of it, right?
Okay, I see that. So when you're in a relationship with somebody, are you okay with 50-50 paying 50-50 with everything? Like, so just say he courted you, he paid for most of the dates, etc. The first couple or whatever, most of them, we'll say. Do you think that when you started, like, just say you start to have, you guys want to be serious about each other,
right?
And then he says, okay, now we have to have this money talk conversation, and he's saying, okay, well, you and I make maybe equally as much, so we should split the bills 50-50. How would you How would
I respond? So I think I think that when I was younger, I definitely had the thinking, and maybe I still do a little bit, that if we're splitting everything 50-50, then we're roommates.
Ooh.
That's how I used to think. Like if we're down the middle,
okay,
like,
and it shouldn't be like that. Is
right?
What you were thinking before.
Okay. Now that I've grown up a little bit, I have a little bit of a different view. So if we're making the same amount of money,
right,
and we are, on par, close enough. I don't have a problem splitting the bills 50-50.
How about if you have the same amount of money, but he doesn't have debt and you do? Will you still be willing to pay 50-50?
If I have debt?
Yeah, just say you had a large amount of debt.
Yeah.
He has no debt. His debts are paid off, but you guys make equally exactly the same amount.
Yeah.
Would you split the bill 50-50?
I would not want to split 50-50 at that point. I would expect that he would understand that I'm trying to pay off my debt. And so I would be contributing to, and I would be honest about my debt. It wouldn't be a secret. It wouldn't be something like, if you're building with somebody, you can't hide that kind of things. But what I was going to say is,
sorry,
if I'm doing 50-50 with the bills,
yeah,
I'm fine with that. But we're also doing 50-50 with the chores and everything else in the house. So I'm not going to be coming home and doing all of the housework, all of the cooking, taking care of everything, plus working, plus paying half the bills. That's not going.
But there are some people who are doing that, right? Me. So you couldn't. Okay, yeah,
not me.
I think I'm on the same as you.
We're splitting, and it may not be that we're both cooking or we're both cleaning or whatever. I may be the one to cook primarily. Yeah. But you gonna do the laundry. And you're going to sweep the floors and you're going to keep the rooms. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to share in caring for our home, or, it's definitely going to be a shared experience.
So I've heard some men say, well, it's not our fault society has changed, right? And it's not our fault that the bills are high. And to rent back in the day would have been cheaper to rent. So
I mean, back in the 1920s, it was cheaper to rent.
If they had a choice, then their woman wouldn't really be working, right? But then they're saying, okay, well, if we're splitting the bills 50-50, you still expect me as a man to be a handy guy, right? Like, I will do sort of the manly things. So why is it that you can't just do the cooking and the cleaning?
Because 50-50. Maintenance is not a daily task. Doing the handiwork is not a daily task, whereas cooking and cleaning is a daily task. If you say for instance we have a home, right? And you are going to, as a man, you're going to expect me to cook, clean, and take care of the home. Yes. Right? Take care of, if we have children, whatever, take care of that, right? Then I would expect that your role, since it's not your fault, is going to be taking care of the yard, doing all of the yard work, taking out all the garbage, making sure everything is fixed in our home, making sure our cars are washed and clean, detailed from inside out. Like the manly things, then, if that's how we're going to look at it. Right? So if you expect me to do daily cleaning, stuff, cooking, then you have to do daily stuff too. Because we splitting the bills, roomie.
We're rooming for life. Let's get it together. Let's focus. So would you be mad then if you were dating a man who made significantly more than you, right? And he comes and drops you and says, yo, we're going to do 50-50. Would you be okay with that?
No. We're not making the same amount of money, so no. So he's making like double or quadruple what the frig I'm making, and I'm still splitting the bills 50-50? Yeah. Absolutely not.
I don't.
Absolutely not.
So,
and you know what? If I had a man who ever came to me with that kind of argument, he couldn't be my man. Because that means you don't care about me.
Yeah.
You don't care about me. If you see that you're making significantly more than me,
why would we do 50-50?
Why would we do 50-50? It would be the same way reversed. If I'm making $200,000 and my man is making 50, why would I want him to pay 50% of the bills and like brock himself every single month?
Yeah,
and not have no savings where I have plenty money put on? Like, you know what I mean? Are we a unit or what?
Hey, you're not going to try me out. You know, me, I'm doing the checks. I'm watching you. I'm checking everything that you're saying. I'll be like, okay. Like, I think, because I'm not one of, because there are a lot of women who go into relationships with men who don't talk about their debt. They don't talk about certain things. Yeah. And I'm pretty vocal with, my life, you know, especially if I'm taking you seriously. So you now know the expenses I have and the people I have to help and take care of. So if you're making way more money than me and you want to pursue me or you want to spend with me, I'm not doing 50-50.
No.
Like, let me pay the electric bill or something. And you pay like the rent.
That's what I'm saying, like, or the mortgage. I feel like if you're making significantly more, then you pay the bigger bill, which is probably the mortgage and the car notes. And then I can take care of the groceries, the little utility bills, whatever the case is, the 1-2 little extra stuff, the internet and things like that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Look, a $500 bill, just okay, don't worry, I got that. I got you. But some men, this conversation I was in, they were saying that some rich men do that on purpose because they say that some women feel because the man makes a lot of money that she shouldn't pay anything at all.
No, I don't think that's right. I think as an adult, you have to be prepared to pay bills. I don't care how rich your partner is. I think you should still be able to contribute to the lifestyle that you guys have.
So you don't believe in the fact of, you know, how some women will say, well, a man needs to take care of me. So I don't care. Like, I look good and he wants to pursue me, then he needs to pay for everything.
That's a city girl. I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to that. Like, I know from back in the day, like, that was the thing. Like, wives are supposed to take care of the home, you take care of the kids, you make sure you look good for your husband, but you have to be very wary of that type of setup, because when you purchase something, you own it.
Yep.
And if you pay for everything, then you feel like you are in complete control of everything and everyone that you paid for. And so I don't want nobody to be flexing on me about they pay the bills and they this and they that. And I don't have, like, I just have too much pride for that shit. And that's just not how I was raised. So for me, if I was to say, for instance, I was to like meet a rich man, like he's beaucoup rich, right? I would still want to do something.
Me too.
That earns me a little money that I can contribute to our home.
Yeah, because I would I would never want to have somebody feel that like I have to beg you for like an allowance. I gotta beg you if I want to go out. I have to beg you for money, like,
or if he's angry with you and he's just not running you no money, you can't leave the house because you're broke.
But then it's kind of crazy because this is a mindset that I realize that a lot of women are having, and they believe that is their main goal in life, that they believe that because they look a particular way, that it doesn't matter what even status the man is, he has to pay for everything, right?
I mean,
I was watching this talk show.
You look good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
That's it.
You just look good. So you just like a figurine.
That's it. That's it. I was watching this talk show. I guess they have some in Ghana.
Yeah.
And the guy, I guess it's like some blind date kind of thing, or they end up starting dating, and then they have to give the status. And the guy was like, every day she's asking for money. She needs money for Uber. She needs money for this. He's like, yo, take the trotro. And like the trotro is like, what do you guys have?
Maxi
taxi. Take that. She's like, I'm broke. I'm broke. So you need to pay for everything. And he's just like, yo, you're not. And then they were like, what are you offering? And all she said was, look at me.
She looked good.
That's it.
So, I mean, that's not enough. That's not enough. And like, women have to recognize that that's not enough.
We have to
You
stop.
can look good.
Yeah.
You could have the bomb pussy. You can, but like after a while, that shit gets boring and tired. Like, then what? After he done stretch out your pussy all different ways, he do it all kind of thing. Then what? Okay, you've already worn like every single fucking wig, every color, every hair, every kind of outfit, every cat suit, everything. But then what? Like, you know what I mean? Can you even hold a conversation with this man, or is he fucking annoyed by just the sound of your voice because you have nothing to offer? And then you start to wonder why, like, that's not love. That's an exchange. That's an arrangement.
So we can both agree that women, we need to get to a point where we need to contribute too. Like, I'm not saying that you have to contribute a lot when you're dating someone who is rich, but there's little things that you could do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could do little things to contribute in regards to the relationship.
I think nobody wants to feel like they're being used.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's what it boils down to. I don't think men who have money have any issue paying all the bills, but I think it's how it's done and like the expectation that some women have is where they kind of have issue with, like the attitude behind it, like, well, you have the money so you should be paying, like, or like, I look good so this, or I fuck you well, or what, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like, but you know how much bitches could come and do a handstand on that dick right now, like, it's then what, like, you know what I mean? There's always a bitch who looks better than you,
but where are they gonna go? Because at this point they've been so self-reliant on a man to provide for them.
Right.
Are you gonna go to the next person
That's
who's
exactly
interested, and you're just gonna jump and jump and jump, and then you're never gonna really have anything for yourself?
Right.
Like,
I feel like those type of scenarios open you up for disrespect.
Yeah.
I think you kind of open yourself up to being used and abused and spoken to in any damn way, because you are just a bill. Like, you're literally a bill.
Yeah.
You know, if a man just has to always shovel money at you, or he has to like buy your hair, buy your outfit, pay for your bag, like that kind of stuff, it's so shallow. Like, I don't know. I would not want to participate in that if I was a man. I think most men are able to find, even ugly men, bro. Once you have money, right? You could be ugly as sin. You could still find any amount of gal who will do anything you want them to do because you're running the money.
Yes. So
you looking good is not enough to hold a man. It's just not.
I think
as
it's fair.
Good as you think you might look.
Because there's so many people, again, we say this all the time. It's like, everyone is obviously uniquely different, but it's just like, there's so many people on the planet. Like, sometimes you're really not that special.
You're
like,
not.
At all.
And the thing is, like, there's so many women who look good, but will also take care of the home, will also cater to that man, will also do all the things. So, like, you have to really stop and check yourself. Like, you looking good is not enough. And there's bare things buying every single body part to look amazing these days. Yeah. So,
what are you going to do?
So, what are you doing? It's not enough.
So, how important is money to you in a relationship?
I think money is very important. I think being honest and open about the conversation about money is also equally important. You have to have money to be happy and to live. I love money. I don't know about y'all. I love money. Yeah. I'm not materialistic, but I definitely want to live comfortably, and I want to be able to take care of my family. I want to be able to travel whenever I want to. I want to have my house. I don't have to have a mansion, but I want a house that has all the amenities that I want in my home to make it comfortable for me. I want to have enough space for my family to come and visit me at any time. Like, you know, those little things. So money is very important. And I think that when you have a partner, you guys have to be on the same page when it comes to like what you want, so that you guys work together to get your, you know.
And I think that's the problem. I think people, men and women, they get into a relationship and it's all assumptions, right? Everybody's assuming what the next person is going to do, or everyone has an expectation from this person. So it's like, money obviously is important, and that's why it causes problems, because some women will just automatically assume that, okay, he's rich, blah, blah, blah. But then he's going to probably automatically assume or expect, but like, yo, if I pay the bill, like, can you at least give a tip? And these are the things that are not, like, we're not talking to each other. And so that makes it seem or appear that women are expected to
be users. Right? So let's go right back. You mentioned a thing. So let's talk about first dates. Let's talk about like when you first initially go on a date, or somebody asks you out, you know. And first of all, if you're going on a date with a man, do you expect him to pay?
Yes.
I do too.
First date, I think so.
I do too.
Yeah. Actually, the first couple of dates.
First few dates. Yeah. I expect him to pay.
Yes.
And again, I'm old school in that way, that I feel like if you are pursuing me, then you definitely have to show wagwan, like.
And the thing is,
right?
I'm expecting you to pay, but I'm not depending on you to pay.
Right.
So I'll always, like, I will always have money
Right.
Just in case you pull the fuckery on
money.
me, and then I have to put a check on my on my invisible list that I have when I'm dating somebody.
Your fucking up list.
No pussy tonight.
Check. Right? Check. No, I definitely think that when initially, and the thing is, even initially, like I mentioned before, like if you're just fucking, I don't expect you to like shell out no big sum of money, right?
Yeah.
If that's understood, if you are, you know, like you guys are just going out to like set the vibes, and so that it's not like a fuck, like a transaction, like a prostitute,
right?
Like
right.
fuck, like you're just going out to grab something to eat, get a few drinks, whatever the case is. I don't expect you to take me to no big fancy ass restaurant or whatever, but I do still expect you to pay.
Okay.
Right?
Would you be okay if your first date was at Starbucks?
Yes.
Okay. Just like the initial first date.
If I don't, if we're just getting to know each other, like if we met off of freaking Tinder or some bullshit like that, I don't mind that, right? I don't have a problem. Like you don't have to drop no big set of money.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Especially in the first onset. Like you don't know if you're even gonna like this person, right?
Yeah.
So for you to feel like you're entitled to like some friggin' $80-something, $90-something plate dinner, like relax, you know.
Yeah.
But also like I know it takes time and money and effort to get dressed and make yourself look good and go out with these people anyway. So I get that. Some girls say that. They're like, you know how much money my hair costs? You know how much money my makeup costs? Like, I have to get ready. I have to do all this stuff to get ready to go see him. So, like, he has to drop money on that. I want lobster tail. I want the scampi. I want... Right?
But if you were going out with your friend, you would dress up too, right? So what makes going out with him any different?
No different. It's the same outfit you're gonna bump.
I didn't know.
Yeah, there's women who say that. They're like, girl, you know, I wear Fenty, I wear this, I wear that. Like I have like expensive stuff. So if I'm dressing, I'm like, it's gonna cost me like $200 just to get ready. I have to get an outfit.
All right.
So I get it, but at the same time, like it all depends on the purpose of the date.
Yeah.
Right?
And I feel like sometimes that's what a lot of men do as mistakes in regards to, and I feel like that's why there's this misunderstanding that men pay more, etc. Because a guy will go on a first date and do something like extravagant.
Right.
When now you got to keep on topping up all the time. Like you have to make it a gradual spending. Don't like, you know what I mean? And then that woman, depending on who you get, someone will appreciate it. Some girls are okay. Like they'll know like, okay, this is the first time he's doing it. It's not going to be the forever. Right. And I'm cool with just chilling with him. But some women, when you do it a couple of times, they're going to expect you to do it all the time. And then don't get upset when that's what she expects, and then you're complaining that all women were users, etc., etc., etc.
Yep. I think that a lot of times, especially in this city, I don't know about everywhere else, but I think that in this city, men have to get a little bit creative. I think that really helps with you not having to shell out a whole shitload of money right out the gate. Okay. I think doing things, especially depending on the woman, again, if you're trying to build with her, you're trying to make it something, you're trying to impress her, then I think you don't always have to go to some fancy restaurant. Depending on where what climate is outside or whatever. Like, you know me, I love a little picnic. You know what I mean? Pack a little basket of food, some snacks, some friggin' desserts, some little things that, you know, talk to her before so you get to know what she likes. Put together a little basket of stuff, take some blankets and some pillows and go spread it out in the park with some wine and bring a little friggin' boombox music and run the tunes off of Spotify and build up vibes. Like, I think people are so limited in what they think they could do for a date that it always ends up being like
the same
thing, like a restaurant or a club or this, or I'm gonna take you down to friggin' King Street to one of those fancy restaurants, or we're gonna go like
360. And after I'm done at the fancy restaurant, even my belly, I'm still hungry. I don't, because when you're dating someone, you don't want to go
not pig out the food, like just box off the food,
right?
But yeah, like do something that's a little bit more creative and then build up to. again, like, find out other things that she likes. And I know a lot of guys, and maybe it's because of the responses that they've had from some women, but a lot of men feel like women only want expensive dates. Like, if they were to say like they're gonna do a picnic, and like, oh, this broke ass nigga, like, he's gonna take us to the picnic. Like, not every woman is gonna respond like that. And some will, no doubt. But like, you know what kind of gal you're looking at. Like, you should know what her response is going to be. Like, you can tell from your first few interactions what she's like. So if you know she's a high-end type of bitch, then of course don't offer her the picnic because she's going to think you're broke, right? But I think most women will think that that's really sweet, especially if you do something considerate or caring and thoughtful, like getting all the things that she says she likes. You know, like, I think those things are nice. Going to like the harbor front, or going down to, you know, I mean, it's winter time here more times, so
but the city has so many nice trails, even in the winter time. Even in the winter, go through and look at the trail, go for a walk, hold hands, see lights, right?
Go by the waterfront, go by, like, that's so an opportunity for her to snuggle in, honey, because it's cold. She might want you to come hug her up, because, you know, like, there's so many different things. But I think guys are always like, I have to take her to like a big expensive restaurant, or I have to take her to, you know, like some Niagara Falls or whatever. Those things are nice too. But you know what you could also do? You could take her on a wine tour.
That's nice.
They're not really that costly, and you get to still go out somewhere and have a different experience. And, you know, you can have a meal there. You could talk. You can learn about different wines. They have meals provided. It's a beautiful scenery. And it's a different date.
Yeah, and you're saving money, right? Because dating apparently is expensive. So,
right?
You know, I remember when I stopped dating, when I was like, I'm not gonna date anybody anymore, and then like my friends would invite me to the movies, and it wasn't on a Tuesday or, hey, when I saw the movie tickets,
Tuesday movies are expensive. I
was like, on Wednesday, I'm like, and then you know how like we're grown now, so we want to go into the one where it has the chair, the VIP seats, and then the popcorn, and I'm like,
that's $100 date right there.
I was just like, oh my god,
your ticket and your snacks, $100.
It's expensive, and then.
The only thing I have to say is, like, if you haven't spoken to that person and you haven't gotten to know that person, a movie is not the best place to start going. Because you're not going to have no time to talk. Like, you are watching the movie.
But people go to movies on first.
They do it all the time. And it's the most, like, I don't know. Like, I find it so weird.
You wasted so much money.
You waste a lot of money. Yeah. Like, that's for when you've already kind of broken the ice. You kind of know the person, whatever the case is. And at least you guys could cuddle. At least you could make out if you wanted to at the movie, because you've already gone past that point.
Yes.
But if you're on a first date at the movies, like, first of all, I don't even want your elbow touch me, like, unless I really find you attractive, like, really attractive, you know what I mean?
How about when they push the popcorn, you know?
They try to like, first of all, don't try to cuddle with me first. No. Do you know my last name?
Oh, shit.
Like, I don't like that.
So after, you know, the first date, like, that phase is gone, and you're dating now. Now the big topic is how do you distinguish who pays what when you start, having more dates?
I think, like, if you check for this man and you guys are like going well, I think after a few dates you should offer. You should offer to take him out. You should offer to pay for, even if you don't plan the date or whatever, but you should at least offer to pay. If he organizes for you to go somewhere, you should say, you know what, let me get this one.
Have you paid for dates?
Yeah, I have. So I have paid for dates. I've bought guys drinks. I've paid for dates. I don't have a problem doing that kind of stuff.
I don't have it either, but sometimes most men I've dated, they don't ask me to pay, right?
Right.
But I'll always have my money just in case. Mm-hmm. And there's this thing where I do to sometimes make them feel better. It's like, when they pay, I'll just pretend to take out the wallet.
Oh, you're one of those.
And it's not even like whatever. I just
let me get my purse.
Yeah.
Is that the bill? Hold on.
Sometimes I'll actually pay, but majority of the time they know. I don't know. They know I'm talking shit. So
most guys
they just know I'm talking shit. So they're just like, no, just put the damn thing away.
Most guys know that game. They know, and some guys will call your bluff.
Yeah, sometimes they'll do.
Some guys will call your bluff and be like, "Oh, you're gonna grab it? Okay." And they'll just
my
like,
bluff.
oh.
No one has ever called my bluff before. Imagine.
You're lucky.
And what I usually do too is I'll put like $5 bills, $10 bills in my for the tip.
Yeah.
So I'll just say, you know what?
That's the other thing. That's just etiquette. So if he pays for the date, you cover the tip.
Just
that's etiquette. Like first date, second date, whatever date. Like that's just part. I feel like you should be able to take care of the date, take care of the tip at least, because that could sometimes be quite sizable depending on where you're going. If you take it to a nice restaurant, it's a mandatory built-in gratuity of like 20%. Yeah. So, you know, cover that part.
Yeah, I think that's the best.
Yeah.
Like at least try to be fair. You know what I mean? Like at least be nice sometimes. Yeah. You know, sometimes we kind of neglect men to think that sometimes they want to feel a little special because we have we put them in, we have so much pressure, expectations of them, and that we never even think about that side. And I'm exactly the same way. Sometimes I forget, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But
yeah, men like to they like to feel special too. Yeah. They don't want to feel like they're being used. They don't want to feel like, you know, they're just being taken advantage of. Right. You know, just like we don't either. But, you know, like that's, for us, it's more like a sexual thing. Like we're like, well, we don't want you to feel like you can just use us out sexually or whatever. And men feel like they don't want us to just use their bank account.
Well, true. So have you ever dated a guy who was super cheap and frugal?
I would say not cheap. I've dated a guy who was fiscally responsible. He wasn't cheap. Like he would not like skimp on like things, you know, but he wouldn't spend a bad cent. Like,
okay, so he was smart with his money.
He was smart with his money. Very smart with his money. But not cheap. No.
I don't know if you remember that guy who was online. It was like months ago or so. He was complaining about he had asked a girl on a date, but he has like his monthly budget. Yeah. And he told the girl, I'm on my monthly budget, so I can't really do anything like dramatic with you, whatever. And this guy went viral. Everyone's, all the men are like, yes, hey, woman ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. But she decided she didn't want to go on a date with him because of what he said. But I guess, I think it was at the end of the month. I don't remember what his reasonings was, but like he was just saying like, we would have went on other dates, but I just decided to communicate and tell her. Right. And she was turned off about it. And she said, no, she don't want to date him.
I don't like that. I personally would not be turned off by that. I think that's responsible. I think for him to decide to fuck off with his bills just to carry some woman out is irresponsible of him. So I think especially the fact that he spoke about it, he told her ahead of time. You know what? I'm on a budget. And I know that I post all kinds of funny memes and stuff saying that, you know, if you don't have the money, you shouldn't be dating, right? But if you are on a budget and you are honest enough to tell the person that you're dating that, you know what, I can't right now take you on any big extravagant whatever, it's because like I'm in school or I'm paying off my bills or I'm whatever the case is, then I think that's fair. Now she also has her rights. If she doesn't want to date a man who is on a fixed budget, then fine, she has her rights to do that, but I wouldn't do that.
I think that was kind of mean, but I feel like it really hurt his ego because you could tell, like, even though he was saying it as a story and obviously he's gonna stick to, you know, his plan, he was kind of like really hurt and angry about it. But girls were like, if you ain't got no money, don't go on a date. Don't go on a date if you got no money. What's the point? Just wait till you get paid and we can just go. And I'm just like, yeah, but he probably like really wanted to see her, and he
probably really likes her. And like, if he's gonna have to wait a whole month before he takes her out,
so like, you mean to tell me you can't go to the park, get some ice cream, in Toronto
or
Canada,
go to the grocery and buy some things and go home and cook a nice meal together? Like all those things are nice little bonding moments. You know what I mean? You may not be able to go out. And again, like if this is somebody, if you're a person who doesn't want to live on a budget, then I get it. Like bail one time, because it doesn't make sense for you to like lead anybody on or make them feel like you're interested if you know that that's not the lifestyle you're trying to live. Yeah. Right? So fine.
I agree.
Go away. Right? But I just think like be a little bit considerate. Like not everybody is balling.
No.
Not everybody has money like that. You know, it's one thing to have a fixed budget it's another thing to just be broke and not trying to do anything. Like you're out here like bumming it, but you trying to entertain women. Like that's different. Like for that, I say like, yo, go sit down. Go friggin' look on for Monsters Inc. buddy. Not Monsters Inc. but Monster. That's it. Yeah, look for some jobs. You understand? Workopolis and Indeed, bro. Like you need a job, right? That's different. Yeah. But if you are working and you are just on a fixed income, at this particular time in your life, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Especially if you know he's like he's what's it called?
Fiscally responsible. Yeah.
Obviously, he's investing. He's doing things like he's actually like making set plans for his future.
Right.
Sometimes I feel though, for some reason, sometimes when men talk like that, I listen, but then I start thinking about different scenarios. I'm like, maybe she talked to you and she just didn't like you.
Could be.
Right? But it is.
Or maybe she was willing to go on the date even though she didn't really like him that much. But because she realized it wasn't going to be like a fancy date, and she's like, because men need to. That's another where you guys' money goes. You guys waste bare money on like taking women and they're just using you. But the thing is, I don't think men are responsible. I feel like sometimes you guys do things obviously with your penis. Right? Because there's certain women who you should know after the second time you've taken them out to eat, or maybe even after the first time you've taken them out to eat, that they're actually using you just for food. Just for food.
If she's not calling you, she's not messaging you, she's not checking up how you're doing, and the majority of the time that she's responding is when you say you want to take her out. I mean, don't get mad that, you're wasting your money on women.
Yeah.
But you're wasting your money because you think that that's going to get you pussy, but it's not. It's not. Sometimes, and you can't live life on a glimmer of hope, especially when you're dealing with money. Like I don't believe in doing chances. I don't believe in chances like that when I'm playing with my money. And I think men need to be smart with your money. Don't take chances on a bitch who's not calling you and take her out all the time to all these expensive restaurants and then come back and complain. The only person you got to blame is yourself. That's it.
You played yourself.
That's all.
Honestly, I can't. That example when people go and take people out and do all this stuff and everything else and they don't recognize that they're being used, it's like I feel sorry for you. I feel sore for you.
And do you find too sometimes that the reason why a lot of people have, I think, did I say this already? I'm not sure. A reason why, oh yeah, I did, the lack of communication. Like when you're dating somebody, you guys have to be having these type of conversations. Yeah. It's very important. We need to stop steering away of talking about money.
The hard conversations are the ones that you need to have. Like, honestly, everybody always, like, they stay away from, like, things that they need to talk about just because it's uncomfortable.
Yep.
But it's what you have to talk about because, like, not everybody is on your same page or on your same wage band. So you just have to, you know what I mean? Like, so if you initiate a date with somebody.
Right.
Do you think that, as a woman, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that he should pay or you should pay? If you say, like, you call up somebody and be like, yo, I want to go to...
It's not the first date.
Whatever.
It's not the first date?
Any date.
If it's the first date and I'm initiating it, I still think he should pay. But anything after that, if I initiate it, then I will pay. However, if you're a man who you don't make any plans... and I'm the one, like, you always, whatever I do, you say you're going to do, then we got to go, like, 50-50 or something because then I'm going to be the one paying for everything.
All the time.
And do I look like a stupid fool to you? I do not. I'm not a stupid fool. So if I know I'm accepting the fact that you're not creative. I'm accepting it. And I'm bringing the
come out with the money.
Come with the money. If I'm coming up with the ideas of what we need to do, then you need to pay.
Right. I'm okay with if I initiate, I will pay.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of women who are like, it doesn't matter if I initiate or not, he's paying. Like if I say I want to go out for dinner, that means I want him to take me out to dinner. Right? I don't think that's fair. No. I think if initiate the outing, then you should be the one to pay for the date, or at least offer to pay for the date. Because to be honest, most men will say no, I got it. Most men will, right? But I think if you initiate the date, because you don't know what that man's pocket was saying before you called him up to say you wanted to go out. Yeah. Right? You don't know if it was an off week. You don't know what it is. So he's going to agree, but he might be thinking that you're going to cover it, or he might be thinking that you're going to go half. Yeah. Right? Because this ain't his pay week.
And like for me too, and there's things you can also do that you may not just say you're initiating it and okay, you assume that he's gonna pay. Like for someone like me who's not a driver, I'll put the gas in the car. Right. So if I see you stopping at the station, or most people will not take it, I just roll it up and put it in the thing, so that just to show something. You know what I mean?
You're a little giving. You're not selfish. You're giving a little bit too, right?
It's less, but it can go a long way. Yes. Right. That's how I see it.
I agree.
Right?
Yes. 100%. 100%. I'm right there with you. You know?
So I had some interesting, I sent some comments out to some people, some of my friends, and not friends like on Clubhouse, you know, I'm always on there like fishing for information. So some women did say some interesting things, and some men said some interesting things about who pays, who doesn't pay. So, one girl said, being a woman is significantly, it's way more expensive than being a man because of the male gaze and patriarchy.
She's one of those people who said, I have to take $200 to get dressed. That's her right there.
And you know, it's so interesting how, you know, women will say that our upkeep isn't for men. It's our upkeep because I want to feel confident and I want to look good and I love myself and da-da-da-da-da. But then when we get into
that bill.
Yeah, like when we're getting into these kind of conversations now, because you have looks and all that stuff, now it's expensive, and the man has to pay. But I thought you weren't doing it for the male gaze.
For you.
I thought it was just for you.
Right.
Like,
right? Exactly. They look good for themselves. They put themselves together because they want to, because they care about themselves. But then they want to pass that buck over to him. Like, yeah, buddy. Yeah. If you're going to be enjoying all this good view, then you're going to pay for it. It's like pick one lane and stay in.
Don't get me wrong, some women get away with it though, and there's some men that they don't care. But a lot of women, we all have to also understand that's not the majority who we're seeing living that particular way based on their looks and maybe living rent free. And again, we don't know what they have to do behind those scenes to upkeep that man. Like, I've heard stories where, you know, you want to be this hot girl and the man has to pay for everything. And, you know, I need this rich man and blah, blah, blah. And he may have a wife or he's old or whatever. You're getting pissed on, you know, you're getting, you know, shitted on. You have to like be cleaning his house. Like, you end up being that person. So everything looks great on the outside, but we really don't know what anybody's story is and what they're doing to maintain this rich free lifestyle where they don't have to pay a dime. Like, you gotta reconsider that and always have a fucking plan B, bro.
Always. And you know, the other thing too is like, even if the man's not rich, I feel like when the man's not rich, I feel like you deal with even more shit because No, but honestly, like, I feel like when he has to work hard for his money and then he has to part with it, like, because of you and your good looks, you definitely goggling these balls, bitch. Like, that's some shit that they're just, like, you're going to be doing the most to earn that money. Because when the man's rich, you know, like, it's come to the territory, it's not as hard for him to part with the money, but when he's like, I don't know, TTC driver or some shit, he makes a good little salary, but like, he's not trying to give it all the way. Like, you know what I mean? So you are going to earn that pay. Like, you're earning that pay, bitch. Like,
everything ain't free sometimes, sis.
No, it's
everything
not.
Ain't free.
So, like, I don't know. Like,
there was another comment where they said men should pay more because men make more, like significantly more money than women. So if it's shown in stats that they make more money than us, why do I have to pay?
I think white men make more money, but I don't think it's right across the board. It's not. Like, we have to talk the realness here, okay? White men make more money than the average white woman or everybody. Like, they just make more money, right? But, like, every culture does not make significantly more money than the woman in that culture. It's just not happening that way. We know the real.
And I'm starting to, like, I definitely had to not agree with that because I'm like, there's so many women that are making way more money than men, especially today. That's so right. girl you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, we definitely have to
put
that in the segments and where it fits, because it don't necessarily fit in our community. Okay,
no, we need to, and again, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we're just not realistic about our goals because we're setting our goals and values on stats that don't even reflect our community. It doesn't apply to us. Right. It doesn't.
It just does not at all. So the other thing that I'm seeing here is that they said, like, having a baby means that that alone, because I bring forth life, is enough that he should have to pay for everything. That alone. And it also makes me pay less because I've had to go through this ordeal of giving birth and caring for the child. So the trade-off is run the money, sir.
If he when she's on maternity leave and he has requested and agreed that she should be staying home to take care of the baby, then maternity leave, your pay is less.
60%.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
he has to run the money.
He has to run the money.
You have to run the money. There's no question.
No, but
you have to.
After the fact, and just say you're back to working, and you guys are spending equally on the children, and you know what I mean? I don't think that...
Again, if she is the primary caregiver of the child, then I could understand why she would feel that way.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, there's a lot of men who ain't changing no diapers. They ain't doing it. They'll just play with the baby, and as soon as the baby starts to cry, here. They just hand the mother the baby, right? So I understand in that sense, to an extent. But just because you bring forth life does not mean that you just automatically pay less money. But I will say, like, just like you just said, like, there's some men who ask you to stay home and take care of the children.
Yes.
They'll ask you to leave your job and be a housewife and a stay-at-home mom and take care of the kids. In that scenario, there's no question he's paying for everything because he has asked you to give up your career, your job, your income in order to take care of the family.
So would you do that? Would you?
If he was significantly
rich?
Paid. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would not want to sacrifice my lifestyle in order to just stay at home for a man who's making 50 grand. I could do that shit myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro.
It's true, though.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's true.
We're gonna be scrunting, bro. Like, no.
Scrummaging.
Yeah.
And then you guys are gonna unnecessarily fight.
Fighting and shit.
Money.
Yeah.
Etc.
No. Like, every weekend on fucking Fridays when I don't want to cook, I want to order Uber Eats. You're gonna be on. So I'm like, yo, we can't afford that. Like, nah.
Yo, didn't I tell you?
Right? Like, you're not even working. I have to take care of everything. I'm going to always remind you, you asked for this. So I don't think that scenario would work if he's not making a good amount of money that we could live healthy and happy and still comfortable.
Okay.
You know, and still be putting money away in the savings, honey, because savings is a must. We still gonna have to be saving. We're not gonna just be living like, you know?
No. So on the male side, most men were saying that they don't mind paying majority. A lot of them were saying they don't mind paying for the majority of the time, but it's the little things like
caring for them.
If I'm paying for everything, the least you can do is just buy me gifts on occasion. So
agree.
my birthday, or just say, no, they're being serious. So apparently, apparently,
you know what? I have to know. I take that back because we know that.
Buy cards. They don't buy birthday gifts. So they're just saying like, yo,
they just give pussy.
Yeah, the pussy is the gift or whatever.
The gift that keeps on giving
forever and ever and ever. Like, what is wrong with you?
Not even no tricks. It doesn't even do anything different. It's the same pussy every occasion.
Yes.
The same regular Monday night pussy is what you get for your birthday. You get it for your holidays. You get it for Christmas. You get it for everything. Father's Day. Come on.
And like, if you know he likes a snack or something that he likes, if it's protein powder, and you're in the mall and shit, just pick it up.
Buy it.
Because you know there's some guys, honestly.
That shit is $80.
Right?
Buy it for him.
No matter what you do, they will never make you pay.
Right.
They just won't. I don't know what's in their body. Like, they're literally like, no! Yes. Like, as soon as... And like, if you pay, sometimes they'll be upset.
I like those kind of guys. Because I'm a thoughtful person, so we will be good. We will have a nice rhythm going. You know what I mean? Because I will always give. I always buy. I always be thoughtful that way, you know. But like, it's the guys who will like see you on your face and never offer you money, or the guys who will be like, so you know the bill's $75, right? Like, ugh. You gonna drop or not? Like, wow, those kinds. I'm just like,
I personally have never had the experience of actually living, like sharing an apartment with a person, like having,
not like that.
I've only had someone coming into my space, and when that person came into my space, I paid for everything. I never asked him to pay for anything because he's just there most of the time, but not all the time. But yet, like, I would never ask him to pay the rent. At a point though, one day, like, because you know my checks go to a peak, and I'm like, you know that you're gonna pay for groceries moving forward, right? Oh, what are you talking about? I'm like, so you think you're gonna come here all the time and eat like the way you eat? And you know, and not pay it because I'm paying for the light. I'm paying for the internet. I even added sports. Rent, and I even added the sports channel. So when you are at my house, you can come and watch it
and feel good.
No. You better run for the groceries. Yep. And you know, I said it once, and it was something that he did all the time. It kind of got my pussy dry. I'm not gonna lie. I was appreciative of him doing it. But I realized if I'm dating this person and they're not even thinking that to help me for like, and you're here for free, literally free, and I'm like, is this somebody that I would want to spend my life with? And I don't think so. No. And it's not even like, I don't even think it's like I'm requesting him to pay the rent. Because it's my place, it's my space.
But he's in it, so he should contribute.
It was so bad to a point where when we had broken up, that's how you know he was at my place more than me. Because you know I'm always working, right? The neighbors, when we broke up, were asking where he was. And they thought that this was his unit and not mine.
Wow. He needed to be paying rent, honey. Okay?
Listen, Pum Pum went dry.
Dry, like Sahara.
Like, home. Because...
No, I had the scenario where my last ex, actually, that I lived with, came into my home as well. Like, that was my place. He came to live with me. And he didn't pay rent. I paid the rent, but he bought all the groceries and paid for the internet.
And I bet you didn't have to ask him.
Nope.
See?
Absolutely not. And to be honest with you, he would actually, every week, he would just come and be like, hold that. And he would hand me $250 for the groceries. I'm like, my G, groceries doesn't cost that much for the week.
But you're like,
but like the way he was eating, yeah, it did. So I started to realize, but yeah, he would drop money. But the money that he was giving me for groceries was more than the rent. Like,
I get what you're saying.
Like he was paying more than I was even paying in the house, right? Because that's a big bill. So he definitely paid for, contributed for his stay and everything else. So I was cool with that. Like, you didn't have to give me half the rent, but like take care of something else.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to worry about, groceries, whatever.
Yeah,
and that worked out well.
Because I feel like sometimes some men, and you know what, it could be us too, because it could be me or us women in general. Like, we always want to be so independent.
Yeah.
But it's like we want to be independent, but we expect the man to be this man.
Forthcoming,
but we're not. Yeah, like, hey.
Offer. But we're not going to ask.
We're not going to ask. And it's like, maybe that's our fault too, because maybe that could have been a conversation that I had but based on how I was raised, that to me is something that should be automatic.
Yes.
Like, you're in my space, so automatically, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to help her. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
I was raised by men, and so that's what, I grew up seeing a father and uncles and cousins and everybody else working and contributing to the home.
Yeah.
And that's what men did. So I don't know any other way. Like, and again, I'm not like materialistic in that like a man has to pay for everything and he has to pay for my this, my that, my everything else. Right. But you will contribute to this home. You will contribute to where you rest your head, where you eat your meals, like where you shower and shit. You absolutely will.
And so somebody else said, a man said, if I'm paying for everything, the woman better be domesticated as fuck. I'm going to require hot meals, blowjobs, and sex often.
On demand.
You can't tell him if you are home and there's no pick-me, you don't have no kids, and you're just being just chilling.
He wants you in
run that putty. Like you can't tell him today you're tired. Like, right. It's not, and I know that it sounds harsh, but it's kind of like
reality, because that's the scenario you've created, right?
Yeah.
It's not enough to just look good and have bomb pussy. Like, you go run that pussy. Like, that's just what it is. And that's fair, because if you're not contributing 1 cent to your lifestyle, you're living nice, you're eating well, you're going out, you're dressed well, you look good, you could show off on all your friends because you're living in a big house and all kind of thing. Then yes, honey.
He said put some chocolate on his balls and lick it.
That's the expectation. I mean, it's fair. That's hilarious, but it's true though. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like you have to be cautious about demanding that a man pays for everything, because in every single thing in life there is an exchange. So you gonna have to cough up the pussy in order for him to be paying for everything. You know what I mean? Red, we have 4 minutes.
So the last one was, this guy says he's frugal. So he said, if you expect to not pay and have to be living with me, don't expect expensive trips to Bali and all those other places, because he ain't doing it.
Oh.
He ain't doing it. So if he's sustaining you in life, anything additional is your own. But he ain't helping you.
Hey, I can't fault him. As an adult, you must contribute to your life.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
I just can't see it any other way. It's nice. It's a lovely thought to have someone take care of your bills. It's a lovely idea to have someone just pay for everything else and you can just provide other things. But honestly,
it's too much.
Adulthood is responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you can't contribute to the way you eat, how you live, what you wear, everything else, like, man, come on, man.
Yes.
You're a child.
Wah, baby.
Like,
you want to be coddled?
Right? I don't know. That's you're dependent. I need to claim you on my taxes. Like, you're dependent.
Oh my God! So we
this was a good topic. This is a good one.
Oh shoot!
I'm sure the men out there can attest to the fact that we were fair in this conversation. We were not going in on the men, because I think it's definitely something that's oftentimes one-sided.
Yes.
And women often see it as like, men should pay. That's it. That's it. But we definitely have a few different
a little twist to it.
Opinions in between there. But I think just in general, like,
yes.
you know, I think it's fair that you contribute to your life. Like I said, you're an adult, contribute to your life. It's just for your own feeling, and just so that people don't, so nobody can flex on you. You understand?
Right.
Like, nobody can tell you nothing. He can't flex on you. He can't tell you nothing. He can't kick you, or he can't tell you, oh, get home your own self, bitch. You have your Vex money. You're good.
Can you imagine if someone did that to you? Yo,
I can't, because my dad always taught me, make sure you have that money in your pocket.
Yeah, I would never talk.
Don't let no man talk to you no way.
Yeah.
Nobody can disrespect you. Nobody can deal with you no kind of way, because you are able to provide and survive yourself.
Yes, yes. And just to summarize everything that we said, the most, if you're dating somebody, your first date, you're having more dates, you're going to decide to get the relationship, the key thing is communication. Yes. Talk to the person and let them know what your expectations are, what you expect. So then that way you can cut it off. So you know, okay, if you want a man who's only going to pay for everything, you're going to know that from the beginning, and you're not going to waste his time. You're not going to waste his money. Because that just causes, and then it's just a weird circle. So can we just talk to each other and tell each other what we want, please? Please. With that said,
we are wrapping this conversation. So thank you so much for listening and watching this week.
I know.
And tune in next week, and definitely like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends to tune into Chatbout Toronto.
Yes.
Peace. I'm your girl Miss T. This is your girl
Miss. Oh, this is your girl Mel. Until next week.
We out.
Peace.